Hey, it's Andrew
and Jessica
with the World Journey family, and there has been a lot of requests from people that we know, friends and family, wanting to know what our home looks like while we are on this world cruise.
And I'll be honest, before we came, I looked at a lot of videos of how other people had organized their room. A lot of the things we've done came from me watching those videos, but what I couldn't find is people with kids
That's
and
right.
how they organized.
Yep.
So I promised myself that we would make this video so you could see how we organized a room to live on a cruise for 4 months with children.
That's right. So we have 2 children, aged 10 and 6, and we're going to check out our room and see what our home looks like on board a cruise ship for 4 months. Let's get going.
So coming in, we have a little bit of a decoration out here because that is fun, especially when you have kids. Makes it super easy to find the room, although our location's easy to find anyway. We are going to be in this cruise for 4 months. One thing I'll say is that we took some practice cruises leading up to this one. We started with 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, and then 11 days over the past year, and we tried out a bunch of different things to see what would and would not work for our family. So through a bunch of trial and error, this is what we've come up with. Even since we've been here, we've changed some things to figure out how to live long-term in one room on a ship. The room's even maybe a little bit smaller than we expected, but we love how it's laid out and it's working better than you would think. So come on in. And let's start over here in like this hallway-ish area when you come in. The first thing I'll show you is on our door we have a couple of important things we saw online, like these little hooks, and so I had to look them up. Here every day we get like a description of what's going on. It's actually right now, tomorrow's is laid over there on our bed. The program for the next day that tells you a little bit about what the weather will be like, what the next port is, any time change information, nautical information, the dress for the next day, and very importantly, like the daily planner, and then I'll even write other things like maybe my work schedule or meetups that aren't in the planner for us. They send out information too about excursions. The way that they do it on a world cruise is that it's broken into segments. So like for the next segment, for the next several stops, we get a little booklet of all of the excursions. I usually don't like to book excursions through cruise ships. I tend to find much cheaper options on our own, but their excursions will inspire me. Usually like I'll see that they're going, on our last cruise I saw they were going to this turtle center, and then when I saw that I was able to find it much cheaper to go through on our own. However, on the world cruise, there are these 10 included excursions.
15.
There were supposed to be 15. Ended up being 10 or 11.
Yep.
But so I am keeping here the included excursion descriptions, and then we have credits that they gave us for the ones that were canceled when there was a major change in the itinerary because of the situation in the Middle East. The ports that we were supposed to have included excursions that were canceled. We got some credits, and so we can use those on some of these. So that's why I'm keeping all of that there. Our kids get their own daily program with the opening hours. The opening hours stay really consistent, so we do know what to expect. There's one set of opening hours when we're at sea, and then they're open actually 3 hours more each day when we're in port. But they do remind us what those are. This stuff is pretty much the same every day. And then they have kind of some highlights of what the kids' activities are going to be. So we hang those there. Then this is very important. This is an overview of our schedule for the next 5 months. And then there have been itinerary changes. And so anytime there's an itinerary change, I write this up here. I'm also writing up here, there's some things that have been organized like by people in a Facebook group I'm part of, so I'm writing those things up here as well. And so this is really an overview. This isn't the detailed every single thing we're doing. I'm not writing all of our excursions, but this is the high level overview. This original document I also had emailed to a lot of people back home, key employees in my the leadership teams in both of my businesses have this, so they kind of know where in the world I am. And then our families have this for both of our families. But since then I've added some things especially those sorts of things that won't be on our necessarily on the app or on MSC stuff. Here, this is random stuff. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's random important stuff that we might frequently need. So our hairbrush and my daughter's detangler, because when you have kids, that's important. Our kids need their goggles every time they go swimming. I like to have this, my hair straightener. We have wrinkle release, laundry sheets, because we are washing our laundry by hand mostly. So things like that, sunscreen, seasick bracelets that my daughter needs a lot. Those sorts of things that we need quick access to. Some friends have this sort of thing over here. We like having it on the back over here because I like to have very easy access. I guess we can show you our closet. In our safe, we have medications. It made me super anxious to have 5 months worth of medication with us. Especially because like my son's ADHD medication is not something that I like having large amounts of, but because we do have a safe, we have most of our medicines in there, and that was very important to me, that has a safe place to be where really only my husband and I have the code. So those things are in there. Up there we have anything else that we want to keep high and out of reach of kids. My daughter's having a birthday on the trip, so there may be some things up there we don't want her to get into. The kids each have 2 drawers here. We each have a drawer for shorts and the kids' pajamas. Over here we have all of our hanging clothes. We also purchased this thing to hold everybody's like shorts and swim stuff. Down here, kids' socks and underwear are down there. There's a couple things we don't need very often up there. A steamer for the clothes, a big heavy sweater of mine, and a carrier for my daughter that we really shouldn't use, but we'll use on longer walking tours that most people wouldn't bring a 6-year-old, but we will because we're us.
Yeah, we want to give them the best experience possible, and we don't want them to have to be stuck on a ship all day, and we don't really want to be called while we're out and about while they're on the ship all day.
Like if there's an opportunity for us to go on a tour that is going to be a couple of hours that they can learn some really awesome stuff about history, we're going to take them. But if it's going to involve walking multiple miles, my 6-year-old is not going to walk 3 miles. I just know that she's not going to walk 3 miles.
Like in Barcelona, we had walked 6.1 miles, I believe. There was no way she would have been able to do that.
Yeah, but my 10-year-old, who's an athlete and very serious about it, he walked the 6.1 miles fantastic. We took some breaks. And my 6-year-old walked some, but she also was small enough that we're very fortunate that with, it's a toddler Tula, if you want to know the brand, but we're lucky enough that she's small enough that she still fits in it, and so we can put her on Dad's back, giving him breaks sometimes.
Yep.
And then we can do a walking tour that's 6 miles, and she does fairly well as long as we point out some really cool things. Hey, look at that, that's a unicorn gargoyle, and she'll get excited enough that she'll do pretty well. Continuing on, this corner has like some hang up stuff. My daughter and I might get cold at dinner, so we have like sweaters here, my purse if I'm gonna grab it. This is stuff. This is my work bag because we joke I have I'm still working full-time on the ship. I'm shocked how few people have to do that. There are some, I'm not the only one, but I can grab this bag, put my computer in it, and go work in the mini lounges.
And are all of these hangers already up on the wall?
These 2 are. So these are really nice, super sturdy ones.
Yep.
My swimsuit's under there too. But most of them are not. So this one's again one of those clippy ones. But then these, we bought a bunch of different kinds of magnets. So these are little bitty magnets. And so we had to use 2 of them to hold our umbrella. Then we have some other kinds I'll show you too. This is a wet bag. We saw this on another YouTube video. Again, I'm making this video because I watched so many and just didn't see one with kids. But this is a really cool wet bag that we can like fold down 3 times and lock.
And it also not only like clip it lock, but like actually lock with a combination as well. So if you have valuables, that's a good place to keep them whenever you're out and about.
Then we each have a little side table with some of our essentials, and then we each have different things, additional clothing items that we need to happen there. And our bed is fabulous, works really well for us. You can see our it's made up twice a day by our really amazing cabin steward, and he leaves these for us. I appreciate some cruise lines have gone down to once a day. I appreciate MSC still does twice a day. I also, some cruise lines no longer print these. I really like having it print on so I can write it, so it's in our cabin after dinner or a little bit after. We get fresh water glasses every day and mugs. This is our wall of water bottles, and these are also hooks that we had bought online. We do have a fridge. When we got on, we asked them to empty it. Inside the fridge, we have included with the World Cruise what's called a dine and drink plan, which means every day from lunch and dinner we can ask for as much like wine, beer, and then soda and water as we want. And our waiter is so wonderful. Every night at the end of dinner, he's like, for your cabin, how many sodas and waters do you want? And so I prepped for this trip by trying to bring myself off soda and drink less soda. And now he's totally feeding my soda habit because he sends me away from dinner every night with sodas and water. And so literally we have this full of soda and water that we have not, I mean, we've paid for the cruise, but it's included.
So this was the mini bar beforehand, where they were locked and we could purchase stuff out of there, but why purchase it when you have a dine and drink package?
Yeah, and just there's for people who do drink, there's so much of the day that you can just walk up to the buffet and get multiple. There's like options for 2 reds, 2 whites, a rosé, and a bubbly wine, and then there's beer options that you can get basically unlimited amounts of, which can be, you can have quite a bit for hours and hours of the day, every single day. Same with the soda, same with the bottled water, same with juices. Juices are available 24/7, so there's lots and lots of options, which is different than normal cruising, where on a typical cruise ship there aren't those options. So that's been really new to us, this dine and drink package.
It's been fabulous.
I am really loving the unlimited access to bottled water and soda. I mean, it's not unlimited outside of those normal hours, but it's become unlimited because at dinner they will give us those. It took us a few days to realize that, and
it's not just
it's
still
a huge benefit. I really hope that they never do away with that, because to me that is a massive benefit that they are giving us.
Definitely. It's not just still water, it's also sparkling water, which we are going to have to break the kids of that habit whenever we get back to the States eventually.
They love all the sparkling water. This is part of one of my favorite areas of the room.
Is my favorite, other than maybe the balcony.
So this is our like one and only stool that you can like sit on and hang out.
So that was over here under the desk, but we found a different use for it to keep our towels and stuff on it.
So it hangs out with our pool towels. If we, there are a few uses for this. Also, this is, we started last year telling the kids, hey, we're going to do so much traveling now that we can't get a lot of souvenirs. So instead of getting a different souvenir everywhere we go, generally all we get when we go somewhere is a magnet. And we have a lot of fun as a family picking out magnets. And we get really into it. And so this is our wall of magnets.
So that one right there that she showed us was one from Las Palmas de Gran Canaria in Spain.
And you'll notice that we try to pick something out meaningful from each place. So this one, it has the beach because we went to the beach. And in the background, while we were at the beach, we could see like the volcanic, like the mountains. And they were like these black mountains made from volcanoes. And so we purposefully tried to pick that. In Toulon, we had gone to a winery, and so we tried to pick one that had that. And so we try to pick really meaningful ones, and we have a lot of fun with it. Here you can see my daughter has her doll, Sarah, which you may have seen a video of her doll's capsule wardrobe. Her doll's capsule wardrobe is in here and hangs right next to her bed. She does change her and dress her up for gala night and all of that. So that's right here. Each kid, their aunt came up with an amazing Christmas gift. We were very picky about Christmas gifts this year. Thank you to our family for sticking with us when we really strongly asked them not to give large Christmas gifts because we were leaving days after Christmas. And if you've ever known a 6-year-old, it could be very hard to get a really cool big Christmas gift and then have to say goodbye to it 3 days later. Our family got really creative. They bought things off the wish list, or they checked with us, and we really appreciate it. One of the things my sister checked with me, and I loved it, is she got these magnetic picture frames. And so both my kids have a few of these, and then she got them these booklets, and you can see my kids are so sentimental that my daughter actually not only has her 6 filled up here, but she then also like leaves her booklet, one of her booklets open to have extra pictures out. And so they look at those and they change them out and ask to swap them out all the time. Parker also has some of her necklaces. A ton of family members got her necklaces.
And she's accumulating more while we are traveling.
Yeah, she's got the 2 new ones in Palma de Mallorca. We went to a pearl factory, so she got pearls. So she loves that, having a bunch of necklaces. She might change it out multiple times a day, and she knows who got her which ones. As she puts it on, she'll be like, yeah, remember Great Nana got me this one, remember Aunt Titi got me this one, remember Aunt Bibi got me this one. And so she knows who got her which one. It was great. It was fantastic that everybody got her those for Christmas. So they hang right by her bed, very easy access. She also has, we always have this argument about lights with my kids and how much light to have on. So my daughter, again, another video like this that we had seen someone have, we have this touch light right here that can adjust really easily, and so she can put it so it's really just for her on the bed.
And that is fantastic at night to give her enough light if she wants, but we can like point it toward the wall so it doesn't have to keep everybody else in the cabin up.
And similarly, my son has his pictures that he's chosen up here as well. A couple of personal magnets he has just a bag. He's a swimmer. He's going up sometimes and swimming laps. A lot of days he doesn't like the saltwater pools, and they're very small, so we've heard a lot of complaints about the pools. Even so, he is still sometimes going up and swimming laps. And so he has to keep his Speedo out for quick reference. And if any of our friends that know him in swimming are watching this, they're probably not surprised that is not getting put away. It is being kept out for quick reference. Their beds, the first day, I think one of the very first things we unpacked actually was stuff for their beds. I'd not seen anybody else do this, but I called my mom a couple weeks before Christmas. I said, hey, I know you're not sewing much, but great idea for a Christmas present. And she loved it and ran with it and came up with what she was going to do, and it was genius. She did a fantastic job. She made them each a pillowcase with some of their favorite things. So my daughter has a cat one, my son has a Chiefs one. I think it makes this so much more homey, so much more personalized for children on a cruise ship. You know, this feels like home. They each have some stuffies. Ollie has his favorite, you know, like honestly, most of these end up on the floor each night, but his Mandalorian from his nanny ends up, like, that's the only one that really ends up in his arms. Parker is younger. All of them, this one she carries with her all day, every day. So that's that. Under their bed is our shoes for quick reference.
Yeah, we tried keeping them over here so we could have them out and about, but they always ended up a mess. We'd be tripping over them, losing them. So we are now keeping them under the kids' bed, which has worked fabulously now.
Here, I want to show you these because I think that they look small, but I think it's really important. They each have one of these size, basically they're packing cubes, but they're full of whatever the kids want for entertainment, and they look very different because our kids are very different ages, but they have in here, you know, he has a lot of like games and again, some of the stuff that they got for Christmas from loved ones that were on their wish lists that were more entertainment than we knew. By the way, if you're a 90s kid, this is so cool.
Pop it.
But these super cool, like kid size things that they know that they have open access to these paper dolls, jewelry, cat game from my great aunt. They can have open access to this at any time. And while these aren't large, They come in here and are playing with these constantly, and I have yet to hear them ever. They complain about being bored, but never in our cabin, because when they come in our cabin, they come straight over here, grab these things, and even though this is small, it carries so many things that they're very interested in. Up here on the wall, we've used some of the really strong hooks. One regret I have is I wish we had bought a lot more.
Oh, I wish we had bought several more of those.
Yeah.
Like those strong magnetic hooks. If you are going to be traveling, especially long term on a world cruise or a long cruise, get the stronger magnetic hooks and get a lot of them.
There are other families who have, or other people who have posted pictures of these hanging from the walls, and they've made like huge wardrobes of these.
Yep.
So those I wish we had more of, but they work well for jackets, even multiple jackets on the same hanger. I've hung some of their artwork from Kids Club. We have some of these. These are cool, pens and stuff like that. We have a whiteboard. For us, basically I give them 3 school tasks per day that I want them to do, and then Dad usually is in charge of implementing their schoolwork for the most part and checking off when they do it. We have a reward system, so they earn stars when they've completed their work for the day. Speaking of their schoolwork, this is where we keep it all. I've kind of organized it so that we have their big binders that you probably saw in the video, that I have assembled stuff related to everywhere that we're going for them. They each have a binder. We have their daily fundamentals. We have Parker's reading curriculum. Then over here we have the smaller things, so they kind of fit together to take up less space on here. Their journals, and that leaves a little bit of space on here for whatever we need to do. Charging devices.
Yes, especially when we're out and about for 10, 12 hours a day, we need to have the portable charging devices, and we need to have multiple of them when we're taking lots of pictures and videos like we are.
Then down here I have a bag for reference throughout the trip of additional school things. And so this is a lot of like games and stuff. I have some educational stuff I anticipate pulling out later in the trip as they get bored with stuff. I want to do some more food chain stuff with them, time dominoes. So lots of other school supplies that I anticipate using later but didn't necessarily need to have up here. We have important documents in here, snacks in here with kids. Even though there's food available on the ship most of the time, like last night I was hungry and Andy was like, I don't know if they have food right now. And I was like, oh, they do. Go find me a snack. And he did, because he was up and about. I'm like, go look, there's a snack. So there's pretty much always a snack, but having food in the room is important. So before we got on the ship in Rome, we went and we found a little grocery store. It was pretty cheap. I'm like, let's find some snacks. And then even in ports, a few times we have found like various fun snacks to keep in our room. So yeah, that's kind of a tour of our room. It's small, but as you can see, like we've packed a lot into it.
Did we show them the bathroom yet?
We
haven't. Now, before we go to the bathroom, we do have our laundry area under there. That's our, the child Baby Yoda laundry basket. As you can see, we're actually pretty good. Now, a few days ago, I did do laundry out in, where were we? Out in Cape Verde.
We try to do laundry every day a little bit. So we got behind when we had multiple members of the family that were sick.
And going through rounds of sickness.
Yes, and so when we get behind, we can send it out. This ship, a huge drawback of this ship is it does not have self-service laundry. A lot of other ships that have world cruises do have self-service laundry. Because this one doesn't, that's a huge disadvantage. So we are doing laundry in the bathroom. If we get behind, we can send it out, or what we've heard other people doing, and so what Andrew did in Cape Verde, and you can watch his video on finding this, is he did go out in Cape Verde and find a laundromat, and that worked well to get us caught up when we'd gotten behind, but because it takes so much of our port time, it's not something that we want to do very frequently.
So after day 12 swimming with sea turtles in Cape Verde, I was then on a laundromat hunt on day 13, so check out those videos as well. Let's go check out the bathroom right now, though, to see kind of where we do laundry and see how we are able to get ready and stuff. So here's our wonderfully compact bathroom.
So the bathroom is small. it does have a surprising amount of space under the sink, and so we have tons of extra toiletries. Before we came on the ship, I think I overly got nervous about what we would and wouldn't be able to find. So like, especially kids stuff, I wanted them to have brands they were used to. So I got 3 full kids toothpastes. I also got multiple kids shampoos and things like that. And so under here I have extra of those sorts of things where I was like, we may want our normal brands. So those are pretty full. Then we use these shelves for some things up here. I try to keep this pretty clean because you'd be surprised how many things throughout the day can get put on here. That stuff. Then something important to me was that we have our daily medications put up high. At home, we keep medications out of kids' reach. 3 members of our family take some sort of daily medication of some sort. And so I did want to make sure it was still up high, so it's still mom and dad passing it out. Now that said, if my 10-year-old got really determined, he probably could reach this. I'm pretty sure he really would prefer never to touch the medicines anyway. But the point is, it's not like just around staring at people or easily lost or easily knocked. It's out of the way, and so that was important.
And those are magnetic baskets that we can easily move around to different parts of the wall if we need to. And the great thing about living on a cruise ship is most of the walls, at least in this, on this cruise line, are magnetic.
I had considered putting some of these in the bathroom or in the shower because I saw in another video that someone had done that. We didn't end up needing to do that. We didn't have enough in the bathroom or in the shower. You can see, oh, and a nice thing is, again, twice daily service, our towels, washcloths. Oddly enough, you do have to ask for washcloths, so we did. And all of that is kept, we can hang it up, and sometimes we do, so we have the same towel for a couple days. Good for the ocean, all of that, but they are changed really regularly. Then you can see when we do our laundry, we hang it. We bought this online. I like this one because it has these little, we can control how far apart our laundry is, so we're constantly drying laundry. There is almost never a time where we are not drying.
We have
laundry.
several magnetic hooks as well,
Especially
as you
for
can
things
see,
like
for socks and everything. And then we do have a clothesline in the shower.
That has to be taken down when we shower.
Yep. So we have to take those clothes down when we shower, but it is nice to have that added space there. Also, another drawback I find is the shower curtain. I would rather have a door because water often gets out of the shower onto the floor, so we have to make sure we keep the towel down so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I hate the shower curtain, but we put up with it. It's, it works. The bathroom is not my favorite part of the room, but there is enough storage, and with our hooks, everything works. The shower is probably, the shower curtain is probably my least favorite thing, but we have space to put up what we need to put up, and the water gets hot, but I can also turn it down easily for our daughter who does not like the water to be hot, so it works.
Yep. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised by how well we are able to utilize such a small area of living space.
Yep. So that's our humble abode for 4 months total.
That's
however, 3.5 months left, I guess.
Oh man, I can't believe we're already that far in.
It goes so fast.
Oh my goodness, it does. And here we are coming out on the balcony. Jessica's enjoying some of her time out on the balcony right now. We like to come out here to just get a little time to relax, a little time to ourselves, or to do homework with the kids. Also a great place to watch the sunrise or set. As you can see right now, the sun is setting right now, and Jessica is enjoying it before we go to dinner.